Uh, hey guys, it's me, Chad, from News Time. I'm doing the cold open for an episode of the show, and I'm not locked out. I'm not locked out of the apartment, so just get that straight. Get facts straight. I am actually doing a sports lockout episode. Yeah, that's right. I'm doing a sports lockout. It's baseball. Baseball's in the middle of a lockout right now, and it's a whole thing. I'm definitely it's a pretty fortuitous that I'm doing because I'm pretty creative, and so the door is definitely unlocked, and I can definitely get back in to my apartment and feed my cat and shoot news time. So we're doing a sports lockout episode. Definitely not locked out of the apartment. Please, I mean, you could still, call my super to unlock the door, and yeah. So let me. Okay, all right. I'm coming in. Okay, definitely have my keys. Okay, coming in. Three, two, one. Ah, shit.
It's news time. Delivering to you the news you didn't know about, the news you didn't care about, and the news you didn't know you cared about. With host, Chad White. Now, here's that host, Chad White.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ball. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there, guys. You just catch my singing and everything. I'm just getting ready for baseball season. Yeah, spring training is not for another 6 months or so, but I just can't get enough of that baseball stuff. Hey, listen, speaking of things, I was not locked outside earlier, but it did get me thinking. The MLB is currently in the middle of a lockout, well, kind of. They started a lockout. Spring training is still on the schedule, but they're formally, officially in a lockout. This is the first one since 1994, the year of the Lord. Baseball revenue is at its highest point right now. It's an $11 billion coming into this current or past season, rather. But baseball is going to bounce back like it did once before. I mean, pretty much every major sport has had a lockout, has been in a lockout period. The NFL's done it, the NBA's done it, the NHL's done it, every major team sport at least. The first strike for baseball was back in 1972. It was just a stoppage and play, and I mean, compared to the longest years, it kind of didn't last long. But now it's been 25 years since this most recent one. It was spurred by the coronavirus last year, thanks to the stoppage and the forced stoppage in everything in the world, and more players were able to join unions, look into what they wanted out of baseball, and eventually they just got involved with the unions and decided that, or maybe were convinced that whatever they needed most would come out of doing a lockout. And one of the reasons includes there's a lack of competition among teams. Some of the better teams are just better, and they're just going to continue to do well versus the crappier teams that aren't as good, and there's really no incentive for them to try as hard. It's like those kids who are always losing a game and then they just decide to stop playing. It's kind of like that, except millions of dollars. They make millions of dollars this time. Baseball is not looking like itself as well on the field. At least that's what the players think. It's gotten a little out of hand. It's just a little bit louder. But people kind of need to draw that attention. They need to see that attention going into baseball because it is inherently just a long and boring sport. There's also the fact that free agency is broken, And come November, the free agents aren't able to find good teams, or teams pay so much for the caps and everything it's broken, and it just doesn't work. They also want more player control over contracts. Again, people like free agents that aren't the big players want to be able to get paid more in those first 6 years of their contracts, and it's just baseball needs to be. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and now they're pulling in more viewers, and kind of like NHL and kind of like NBA and kind of like NFL. These players just want to get what they're worth, and it's easier if they just decide to lock out. So band together. That's what I say. Speaking of banding together, why don't you subscribe and check out one of our other videos? Of course, you can head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where there are me and interviews with comedians. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at cpluscomedy. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ChapLikeWhite. Like us on Facebook. Listen to the Constitutionalist podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And I'm going to finally learn how to use this bat. Take me up to the ball game. These lyrics aren't copyrighted.